So this is the Floowander deck I played at YCS Dortmund. It didn't go that well for me, but I'll just give you the deck profile and give you some thoughts on the deck. Okay, for the small monsters, I was playing pretty default ratios: 3 Robina, 2 Khan and a Stree, and 3 Eaglin, and then 2 Empan, because 2 Empan is just what you need for some of the combos. Then I was playing, obviously, the 1 barrier statue. I did a giant misplay in game 1, where I let my opponent swing over this, where I could have made a Riser, but I made an Apex Avian instead. Yeah, I don't know why, kind of had a brain fart at that moment. I was playing a Riser and an Avian. Yeah, these are just the default ratios as well. I did not play a second barrier statue in the side deck, but I think I should have, because I played against decks like Sprite and they just die against the barrier statue. And barrier statue after Dark Ruler No More is nice, but I never got Dark Ruler No More as well. Then I was playing 3 Shifter and a Crow in the main deck. The Crow came up, but the only time Crow came up was when my opponent had a Called By for the Shifter and a Bell for the Crow. So, well, I was never able to resolve a Crow successfully. No, I think I once crowed like something and it did something. Like, a Crow is definitely good if you can search it instead of the Wind Barrier statue, if you already opened the Wind Barrier statue. Then I chose to play a small Dogmatika package. This bricked into infinity, I have to be honest, but it also helped me really, really much. I was under Zombie World, for example. Then I could Nadir Servant F, send Entis from the extra deck, Entis, pop Zombie World, search this, normal this, get punishment, and then do my normal combo. So then it worked really, really well, but I had times where I opened 2 Nadir Servant, punishment, and Ecclesia. Or sometimes even worse, not even punishment. And then Nadir is dead. Ecclesia is like, yeah, I can spend my normal summon on this, but I don't know. It's just not good if you open Nadir plus the 1 of Ecclesia. I thought before I went to the YCS that I should maybe play the level 8 Dogmatika that can special summon itself, but the problem there is it can special summon itself, so you can't use any Floowander effects that when you use its effects, so that's kind of bad. Then I was playing the default ratios for the Floowander spells as well. 3 Advent, 3 Adventure, 3 Map, 3 Adventure, 1 Winds, and 1 Dreaming Town. You could play 2 Dreaming Town, but I think nobody does anymore. Yeah, these are just the default ratios and they worked out really well. Then to easier find my cards, I was playing some pots. I was playing 3 Extrav and 3 Duality. I really never got punished for playing Extrav. I never drew with Extrav into Extrav or into, like, I don't know, anything else that I wouldn't have been able to use. I once or twice drew into an Extrav with a Garuda I sent from the extra deck. But if this would have been a Prosperity, I wouldn't have been able to use it anyway as well, because if you use Prosperity, you can't draw with card effects as well that turn. So I didn't really lose on much by not playing Prosperity. And yes, I'm playing Prosperity because it costs too much. Then I was playing, because I'm playing a field spell in my deck, I was playing 3 Mystic Mind as a board breaker and a Terraforming. This helped out really, really much against Branded, because Branded can't really out this. But against other decks, it just baited in a gate. But baiting in a gate is great as well. I only once played against Telements, and I won that match 2-1. And he was the guy who had the Called By for Shifter and the Bell for Crow. Like, just happens sometimes that your opponent opens like that. Then in case I play against Dogmatika, I played a Nova and a Mechaba. It didn't come up. I kind of kicked myself for playing these, because these could have been any other 2 cards. Then I was playing 6 targets for Nadir Servant. Or rather, I was playing 5 targets for Nadir Servant. I think these are a bit too much. You can probably play 4. It was nice because I always had at least a Garuda or an Entis in the extra deck alive, and like I think you can cut it down to 4 and maybe cut the Skull Warrior, because this shuffles back. So against the elements it's really bad, because if you shuffle something back, they can trigger the field spell basically. Entis is obviously the best card to send, and Garuda is just like, it makes you Nadir Servant become an upstart goblin essentially. This is really good if you want to draw more. This is like good for popping stuff, and the Skull Warrior is like you can pop if you go second as well, because you don't need to. It doesn't have to be a quick effect with the Entis. Like if you have like an Entis and a Skull Warrior left, then you can send the Skull Warrior for the Nadir Servant, and then send the Entis for the Dogmatika Punishment. So that's more than enough. So I would just say cut the Pegasus, because this didn't come up at all. Like cut these three cards for now in the extra deck. And then to kind of play around Tikaboo, I played a Linkuriboh and an Anima. Anima as well because it can break boards, Linkuriboh because it can protect me in like really bad situations, a Water and a Dark Charmer just to link climb, and an Underworld Goddess to link off problematic monsters. I think you could play a Light Charmer as well instead of one of these, because the Ecclesia is a light, so you could easier summon back light monsters. I, for example, played against Exorcister or something, or some other light decks where this would have come up, and I kind of searched if I had a Light Charmer in my extra deck, because it would have been really nice, I have to say. Then I was playing as my last cards in the extra deck a small Zeus package. I was playing 2 Assembled Nightingale and a Zeus. I think you should play a second Zeus instead of one of these. So one of these should be a Light Charmer, one of these should be a Zeus, and if you fancy it, the third one can be a third Nightingale, because Zeus came up. I actually made a 4 or 5 material Zeus. Yeah, but it was kind of a win more, but you sometimes can make a 2 or 3 mat Zeus as well if you are in emergency situations, so 2 Zeus definitely helps. My side deck was the thing that mostly disappointed me. I lost in time twice, even though I was playing 3 Dogwood in the side. The thing is, the times when I lost in time was in game 2, in round 1 in game 2, because we took so long for game 2, and it wasn't like that you go into game 3 with 1 minute left and you can Dogwood them, and then they have to pass their turn and you can attack for game. Not really for game, for more damage than the Dogwood life point halving. The problem is Floowander can't really OTK, and sometimes you just end on M-Pen plus like maybe a Windberry statue. And even if they don't summon anything, then your life points are halved. You are on 4k life points. You still need to play really, really quickly if there's not much time left. And then you maybe end on M-Pen plus a Windberry statue, which is 3,700 damage. So then your opponent still has more life points than you. The second time I lost in time was when I played against Sprites. And it was not like we passed in game 2 with a minute left as well. We had 15 minutes left going into game 3, and then it was just a slow grind game, and in the end he had a few more life points than I had, and I lost in time. So this wouldn't have done much, sadly. I could have maybe used this against Sprite, because they have to pay life points with starter and everything, but I don't know. I think it's not worth it. You shouldn't play this in Floowander. Maybe Necomane, but when I played against Tiers, they didn't make me mill from my deck as well, so Necomane wouldn't have done anything as well. Then some board breakers. I was playing 3 Dark Ruler no more. This I used like twice or 3 times maybe. It was nice to have, but you don't need it that much. If you play Prosperity, you can maybe play it as a 2-off even, because it didn't come up much. I saw many people say, oh yeah, you need a Dark Ruler no more, a Mystic Mine, and an Evenly Matched to break boards, but it was just not the case. Even when I didn't resolve Shifter, and Shifter didn't do much as well. I played against so many decks that were maining Shifter as, on their own. Like just played against Sword Soul main Shifter, played against Exorcister main Shifter, played against Sprite main Shifter. So many things were maining Shifter as well, and then just resolving Shifter means you go -1 essentially against those decks. Like it could have been anything else. And yeah, Dark Ruler no more was nice, but Evenly Matched was especially good, because Evenly Matched was just beating every deck. Like when I resolved Evenly Matched, I could come back. When I resolved Dark Ruler no more, sometimes they could still stop me. Especially Evenly Matched is great if you play the Dogmatika package, because you can evenly match them, then Nadir Servant them, and Nadir Servant you send Entis. Entis pops the last card they have, and then this is just a full board wipe. And Evenly Matched can banish every card except 1, and Entis can banish the last card. So that's really nice. Evenly Matched plus Nadir Servant. Then I was playing a Duster, never came up. I didn't play against back row. I didn't draw this against tiers, but it didn't matter much as well. Then I played a D-Fissure. I never drew into this for some reason. I played a 3 Featherstorm and a Trap Trick, and I never drew into this when I could resolve it as well. Like I think twice drew into Featherstorm, but when I drew into it, I only ever had the water Flanderies monster on my field, and then I can't do anything. Many people said that, yeah, you don't have to be scared of Veiler or Imperm this format, but I got Impermed so much. Like, just, I think you should play more going first cards, to be honest, and a bit of Imperm protection. Like, the good thing is before the day before I registered my decklist, I had a Called by the Grave in my decklist, but then I removed the Called by the Grave and played a Crow instead, and that was a really good decision because Called by the Grave would have never come up. Like, I never got Veilered, and Called by the Grave does nothing against an Imperm. So I think, unironically, I think 3 Book of Moon would have been the play. Just exchange this, never came up. You can maybe cut a Dark Ruler no more even, or play a second. What I also thought is maybe play a second Barrier Statue, maybe play a second of the Flunder Traps and a second Trap Trick, or something else that you can get with Trap Trick, because I sometimes got a Trap Trick plus the Storm, and then I was just like, yeah, I can't resolve the Storm because I don't have a Wind-Winged Beast, and I got a Trap Trick with no other targets. Like, what am I gonna do? Get a second Storm that I can't use? I definitely play another going first normal trap that you can play in this deck. My matchups were really bad. I only played against the elements once. Game 1 was against branded Bestials. I lost that one in time. Game 2 was against the elements. I won that one. Game 3 was against Exorcist Sister. I lost that one. It was pretty close, but also not. Like, game 1 was close. Game 2 was close-ish, and game 3 was just me opening 2 maps, no low-level Flunder monsters, and 2 Nadir Servants plus Ecclesia or something like that. Like, that was just nothing. Then game 4 I played against kind of pure branded, and the guy was trying to cheat against me, but I still 2-0'd him. Then game 5 I played against game 5 I played against Sword Soul. I lost that one, and game 1 I opened super bad as well, like just Nadir Servant plus Ecclesia again. Then my last match was against Live Twin or Evil Twin Sprite, and the guy was really not a good player. Like, he took control, he double crossed my Barrier Statue at the start, then he couldn't summon anything but wind monsters. I have to be honest, I kind of styled on him. I should have just gone for the kill. I normal summoned all the Flunder monsters, recycled them, and then in the end made a 5 material Zeus plus Empan plus Punishment plus the Trap plus everything plus Avian. So should have just gone for the kill there, but I thought maybe I can win in time. Like, I was not stalling, but yeah. Then game 2 and 3 he won. Game 2 he won normally because it was Sprite, and I kind of bricked again, and game 3 he won in time. So yeah, that was not the most successful YCS, but I think with a few changes you can definitely make this deck work, and I won my only tier elements matchup. So yeah, this deck is definitely very good against tier elements, and not just because of Shifter. Like, I tried to resolve Shifter against them once, but they negated it, and I still won 2-1. So can't complain about that. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you maybe watch the YCS vlog that I'm gonna publish, or already published. I'm recording this before I edited the other video, and see you in the next video.